After a breakup, we go through an emotional roller coaster, and I've been in your shoes. It's awful. We have ups and downs. We feel bad one day, great another day, then again depressed the day after. I'm gonna explain that it's the same for your ex right now. Even if they decide to end the relationship, I'll explain you exactly what's going on in their head and how and what you should be doing if you want to get them back.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First, you have to understand that they've been entirely arguing with the idea. It's something that grew within themselves for weeks and months, and it was a tough decision for them. If you're watching this video and you've been in a relationship for less than 6 months, what I'm going to tell you is not necessarily applicable. And actually, if you want to be sure that what I'm saying is applicable to your situation, I suggest you take the quiz to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. In this quiz, I basically assess whether your relationship can be saved, and if you have less than 15, the score less than 15, it means that you should try to move on, and that this video might not be good for you. So now back to the video. It's something that grew over time. You know, the idea, they had this idea maybe 6 months ago about like, things are not working. And then they will have this internal debate within themselves. They can usually be as sad as you. It depends on the attachment style. If they're avoidant, avoidant people can move on or at least manage breakup more easily because they are used to suppress emotion. And so in that case, a breakup would be different than if you're anxious or if you're a secure person. In any case, it is not something easy to do. They basically put all your relationship, everything you've built together at stake here, and by taking the decision to finish and to end the relationship, they should know what they lost. We want to see exactly that it's a bit more complex than that, and that's the reason you can get them back. Now, what you have to also understand is after the breakup, they have this release phase because there was some pressure on the decision, and so what's going to happen usually is they're going to be partying, they're going to be maybe dating, maybe they're going to be like over the top, they'll be like, I don't know, skydiving, doing on party every night and stuff like that. What they're after is they just want to live the life they wanted, but it's the life that they thought they would want, they believe they wanted. And I know a lot of my clients, their ex is going through a midlife crisis. And so they had this idea of like, you know, I've been, you know, my wife decided things for me for 20 years. I want to get my freedom. I want to be happy. I want to get out every evening and watch the, you know, football games with my mates and do stuff like that. So, you know, I'm going to take my freedom and I'm going to break up with her. Almost a true story, but it's often like that with midlife crisis. So now they have this release phase, they go to the pub every evening with their mates, get drunk, whatever, they do silly stuff, they just want to release that pressure. After that you have sometimes a rebound. You have to understand that breaking up with you creates a massive void. And the dumper, the thing he would want to do is to fill that void. And it's natural, it's, you know, anytime there's a void in nature, it's get filled in. And so what they will do is to jump to the next person. They need someone to fill that gap. And they need that person. So they use that person. It's very important for you to understand that a rebound relationship is someone that we use. We use for emotional connection, we use to fill that void. And therefore, you can't really compare your two relationships. The foundations are weak because that person is, in a way, random. So you would be comparing, if you're stressed whether she or he would end up being in a relationship with that rebound person, it's really about good times versus meaningful times. Comparing someone that you met on Tinder, on a dating app, on Match.com, and whatnot, versus someone you have kids with, someone you were for years together, someone you had like strong memories together. It's not really an even battle. Fourth is you have to be aware of the compulsive dumpers. Before we move on, just for you to also understand, and I have to share that with you. A lot of people avoidant sometimes, they would jump from one relation to another. And they would always have this need to seek for better options. That is something very common amongst avoidant, and that's why they really struggle to commit in long relationships, is because anytime they're in a relationship, after 3 or 6 months, they look at the flaws in the relationship and they'll be looking at something else. If that's the case for you, honestly, I would argue it's not really a good decision to get back with them. The question is whether that's the case or not. If you don't know, I have put together some WhatsApp groups. It's basically a cohort of people who are in more or less the same situation as you, and it's very active groups where you can ask questions and you can also help others. It's very active groups, so have a look in the description. I will leave a link for you to register in one of those groups. Number 5 is the status quo versus progress, and it is the most important. Maybe this one and the last one is the most important slide of the deck. Sometimes it takes a traumatic event for people to change. And you're probably watching this video because that breakup was a traumatic event and you're just being, what the fuck? I need to do something, right? So how far have you gone? Maybe the breakup was 3 months ago, 6 months ago. What about your ex? What have you guys done? Imagine their reaction when they see you. It's very important. They left you at a place, being you as you are, expecting other things from you, probably, because otherwise they wouldn't take the decision. Where are you now? Are you the same place? Have you improved? Or is it worse? And usually when people don't do anything, they're worse. Because they let themselves be by emotion, they let themselves negative, they let themselves not confident, they let themselves with low self-esteem. And when you get into that vicious circle, it's really, really hard to get out, right? Some other people, and it's really not about being strong or willpower. It's really about the support system you have. Some people, they have a strong support system. They have good friends who are therapists or counselors who can help them. People have already therapists that help them go through that phase, and they progress and they see themselves at a stronger position than before. And I'm going to use an image, a body revenge image. I'm not saying that you should lose weight if your partner decided to end the relationship with you, but it's just to show you a very strong image of this is where you were. And I'm not saying it's, you should be like this, it doesn't matter, but it's for your ex, they need to be blown away by the contrast of you 6 months when they decide to break up versus you now. They need to be like, wow, I had doubt that he or she would do that. I didn't believe that person. I used to love that person. Now they surprise me because I thought they were gone. But actually they're still there, okay? So show them that you have this amazing ability, this power within yourself, that you're a diamond, you're a rough diamond. Maybe through the years, that diamond lost its appeal and not shining anymore. Your job is to really polish that diamond and show them the contrast between you before and you now. So that's what you have to do when the rebound collapses. So usually when the new relationship doesn't work, it's where you have to show up. You have to show up like this, right? This relationship, as I mentioned, was bound to fail. So no matter how long it takes, your ex will reach out. Never ever doubt this. If you haven't done anything wrong after the breakup and if you've worked on yourself, 100% of the time your ex will reach out. Now, the question is, what do you say? Can I tell you what to say? Yes, but it really depends on the situation. I can't provide you and I've tried to put content like that, but it doesn't work, a list of things you could say. It really depends on the situation, it really depends on you, it really depends on your history with your ex, and so there's so many criteria that if you really want to know what to say, how to answer, how to approach your ex if you want to break no contact. There's so many options. I would ask you to drop me a WhatsApp and ask me if you have any question, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So that's the idea. Really remember the contrast. Really keep this image in your head. Maybe it's not about you don't need to work or to work out to change. Maybe it's not what your ex expects from you. Maybe it's about your work-life balance. Maybe it's about your anger issues. Maybe it's about other things in your life that really need to be contrast. So don't lose confidence and motivation if your ex is dating a rebound. It doesn't really matter. Rebound is bound to fail. You, at the same time, should work on yourself, be the best version of yourself. Wow, I'm struggling today. And show them that they were wrong. They were wrong thinking that you couldn't make it. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.